The air exploded, not with sound, but with light-blinding, strange light. Above the clouds, the stars blinked unnaturally. On the ground, the jungle shook. Animals scattered. Then, silence, and then the scream of metal. A human dropship, burning on one side, spun through the night sky. It crashed deep into the dense alien forest, leaving a long scar in the earth. Corporal Leo Brandt groaned, his body pressed against the broken side of the ship. Blood ran down his arm, but he was alive. He wasn't sure for how long death this was. Not Earth, and it was not peaceful. 6 hours ago, his team was delivering aid to an alien planet called Jiran. It was a neutral world, but something went wrong. A surprise attack came from orbit. Ships unmarked, fast, and deadly rained fire on everyone, human and Jiran alike. It wasn't a war, until it became one. Leo pushed open the half-melted side door. The forest was glowing. Not with fire, but with strange alien trees that pulsed with blue and green light. He grabbed his bag, winced from a bruised rib, and limped into the trees. He needed shelter. He needed help. But most of all, he needed to survive. Somewhere nearby, another survivor moved. But she was not human. Xela, a young female Joran scout, crouched near the glowing roots of a tree. Her dark purple skin shimmered under the forest lights. Her three-fingered hand held a blade tight. Her long hair, wrapped in golden cords, was soaked from the humidity. She had seen the crash. She had seen the fire. And she had seen one figure crawl out. A human. The enemy? Or a victim just like her? She followed him silently, not with hate, but with curiosity. The humans were strange. Loud, dirty, but brave. They were not like the soft nobles of her planet. She had heard stories. She had even learned some of their language. And now, one was here. Alone. Leo stumbled through the forest until he collapsed near a rock wall covered in glowing moss. He pulled out a protein bar from his survival kit. It smelled awful, tasted worse. But it gave him energy. Suddenly, a sound, a click. He froze. His hand moved to his pistol. From the shadows, a figure stepped out. Slim, tall, alien. Zella raised one hand, palm open. Not enemy, she said slowly. Leo blinked. He lowered the pistol but didn't drop it. You speak English? Little. She stepped closer. You crashed. Yeah, and I'm guessing you're local? She nodded slowly, then her eyes focused on the protein bar in his hand. You eat that? She asked, her nose wrinkling. Leo laughed a little. I know. It smells like old socks. But it keeps me alive. He took another bite. Her eyes widened. You digest. Poison? Leo smiled. It's not poison. It single quotes S. Food, human food. She looked confused. It smells like death. He looked at the wrapper. It's got meat, spices, energy gel, and something synthetic called carboprotein 9X. She gasped. That thing would kill a Jiran. Leo raised an eyebrow. Well, I guess humans really can digest anything. The two sat in silence for a moment. The forest buzzed with life around them. Then Zella broke it. You? Fight in war? Leo frowned. I didn't come here to fight. My unit was delivering medicine. But someone started a war. Not us. She looked at him for a long time. Many Jiran think humans dangerous. Leo nodded. Many humans think the same about Jiran. But you? Help? She asked. Leo reached into his pack and pulled out a small vial. A vaccine. It's meant for your people. Against a fever virus spreading in the outer villages. Zella's eyes widened. She reached out, touched the vial carefully. You risk life for Jiran? Leo shrugged. Someone has to. A sharp screech broke the calm. From the trees, several shadows moved. Not Jiren. Not human. Hunters. Third party. Mercenaries. The kind that shows up when war breaks out selling weapons, taking slaves. They were here for bodies tech, anything of value. Leo stood quickly. Zella unsheathed her blade. They saw your crash, she said. Leo checked his weapon. Looks like dinner is cancelled. Together, human and alien stood back to back. In the distance, red lights moved through the forest, hunting, scanning. Closing in fast. They had less than 1 minute. Asterisk the red lights. Moved closer, fast and silent. Leo's heart pounded in his chest. His pistol was half charged. Not enough for a full fight. Beside him, Zella crouched, blade ready. Her glowing eyes scanned the forest. Not normal hunters, she whispered. Too quiet. Too fast. They take people. Not just kill. Leo felt a chill. Slavers. She nodded. The two backed against the glowing moss wall. Trees swayed. As shadows passed between them, the forest suddenly felt like a cage. No easy way out. Then Zella grabbed Leo's arm. Follow me, she said. Now? She ran not toward open ground but down into a crack between two massive tree roots. Leo followed, just barely squeezing through. They crawled into a tunnel under the earth. It smelled like wet stone and old fungus. The walls pulsed faintly with bioluminescent slime. Old rootways, Zella whispered. Jiren children used to hide here in war games. Now, forgotten, Leo grunted. Perfect for staying lost. Behind them, the red lights stopped. Above the tunnel entrance, voices echoed, strange, clicking voices. Not from any species Leo knew. They know we went underground, he said. They don't like tight spaces, she replied. Too many legs, too tall, Leo smirked. So we're not the only ones who get scared. They moved slowly, crawling through the roots. Leo's elbow brushed something sticky. He looked down. Bones. Small ones, not human. Not Jiren. Others died here, he muttered. Zella nodded. We keep moving. They finally reached a chamber where the tunnel widened. It was round like a natural dome. Light trickled in from a crack above. They both sat down, catching their breath. Leo pulled out his canteen and offered it. Zella shook her head. Human. Water makes me sick. He laughed. Figures. Then she pulled out a small fruit from her belt pouch. It was dark blue, glowing faintly. You eat? She asked. Leo sniffed it. It smelled sweet, but odd. What happens if I eat Jiren? Fruit? She smiled. It cleans your blood. Maybe too much. Leo shrugged and bit into it. His eyes widened. His nose ran instantly. His tongue burned. He coughed hard. Zella giggled. Spicy. Leo gasped. That's not fruit. That's a chemical. Weapon. But deep down, he was amazed. His body was reacting, but it was still digesting it. She watched him closely. Your stomach? Not melt? He wiped his mouth. Humans are built tough. They rested for an hour, then climbed out through the upper crack. The forest looked calmer now, though the sky was darker, clouds rolling in. Thunder rumbled. We head north, Zella said. Old signal tower. If we reach it, maybe call help. Human or Jiren help? Leo asked. She hesitated. Both gone. But tower? Still has light. Maybe someone left a message or gear. Leo nodded. Lead the way. They moved. Quietly. The forest floor was soft. Strange glowing beetles crawled underfoot. Massive trees rose above them like silent giants. As they walked, Leo asked, Do Jiren eat meat? She looked confused. Some, mostly plants. Meat. Rare. Expensive. Sacred. Leo raised a brow. Humans eat everything. Meat, plants, bugs, even food grown in vats. She looked shocked. Bugs? He grinned. Tastes like crunchy chicken. She made a face. Humans are terrifying. He laughed. You're not wrong. Suddenly, Zella held up her hand. Wait. She pointed. In the distance, through the trees, stood a tall structure, twisted metal and stone, half covered in moss and vines. The tower. But between them and the tower, 3 figures moved. Tall, armored, non-human. The slavers had found the tower first. We wait till dark, Leo whispered. Zella nodded. They make camp, then sleep, Leo added. We slip in. Grab anything useful. They hid beneath a ridge and waited. As the sky turned deep purple, rain began to fall, soft, warm droplets that soaked everything quickly. The slavers lit no fire. They stood silently, motionless, watching. I don't think they sleep, Leo whispered. Zella's expression turned. Grim. They are not alive the same way we are. Leo looked at her. Then we can't wait. The 2 moved carefully, circling the outer trees. Leo took point, his pistol drawn, while Zella crept behind, silent as wind. They reached the edge of the tower. A broken wall gave them cover. Inside, dim green lights flickered from an old console. Still has power, Leo whispered. Zella nodded. She pressed her hand to a stone panel. It glowed briefly and unlocked a hidden hatch. Inside the hatch, old supplies. Joran's survival gear, medical kits, flare guns, signal transmitters. And one more thing, a data tablet. Leo turned it on. It worked. The last message blinked on screen. Emergency. All surviving units retreat to Black Ridge Base. Coordinates locked. Automated beacon offline. Black Ridge, Zella whispered. That's 5 days walk through Stormland. Leo checked the date. This message is 2 days old. If we leave now, she said, we may reach before the slavers. Spread. They pack supplies fast, then crack. A blast behind them. One of the slavers had spotted them. Leo turned and fired. The shot hit, but the creature didn't fall. Zella threw a flash blade. It exploded into sparks. Run! She shouted, and they did. The rain poured heavier as they ran. Trees blurred past them. Roots and vines tripped their steps, but they didn't stop. Behind them, the creature screamed a high-pitched, metallic sound that echoed through the jungle. They didn't look back, because forward was their only chance. Asterisk rain poured from the alien sky in thick sheets. The storm had fully arrived, so loud it covered the sound of breathing, footsteps, and even the howls of the slaver that chased them. Leo's boots sank into mud as he ran. His injured leg burned with every step. Zella moved just ahead of him, fast and graceful, even through roots and rain. She didn't stop. She couldn't. Behind them, metal feet stomped the jungle floor. The slaver was strong, tireless, and gaining fast. Left. Zella shouted, pointing to a narrow gap between 2 giant trees. Leo didn't hesitate. He followed, squeezing through vines and thorns. The ground dipped sharply. They tumbled into a dry ditch hidden beneath glowing ferns. The slaver roared above them, then passed by, unable to see through the storm and heavy foliage. They waited, silent. Only when the footsteps faded did Leo speak. You sure it's gone? No, she whispered, but we move anyway. They crawled through the ditch until it ended in a small cave, barely tall enough to stand in. Inside it was dry, lit by natural glowing stones along the walls. Leo collapsed against a rock, panting. Still alive, he muttered. Zella handed him a leaf-wrapped bundle. Food. He opened it, more glowing fruit and a few roasted strips of something rubbery. He sniffed it. What's this? Rain beast meat, she said. Hard to catch, strong taste. He bit into it and gagged slightly. It was sour, tough, and had a strange peppery aftertaste. Still, he swallowed. "You like strange food?" she said, amused. He coughed. "I'm starting to think my stomach's part weapon." As the rain beat outside, the two sat in silence. For a while, Leo rubbed his leg. The swelling was worse. Zella noticed. She reached into her pouch and pulled out a small container. "Paste," she said. "Cool your blood." He raised a brow. "You mean reduce swelling?" She nodded and applied it herself. The paste was cold ice cold, but the pain faded within minutes. Leo exhaled in relief. "You're not just a scout," he said. "No," she replied, "trained as field medic before war." He nodded slowly. "That explains it." After resting, they prepared to move again. "Stormland begins now," Zela said, stepping out of the cave and looking toward the distant mountain. "Line, what is Stormland?" Leo asked. She pointed. "That way." "Open land, no trees. Storm never ends. Lightning, wind, acid fog sometimes." Leo sighed. "Sounds like a great vacation spot." "Very funny," she replied dryly. They crossed into the open the next morning. The rain didn't stop. It only changed to now falling sideways, driven by gusts of alien wind. The sky above them crackled with pink and green lightning. Leo's suit beeped warnings every 10 minutes. Acid levels rising, metal at risk. He covered his arm with plastic wrap from his kit. Zella didn't complain. Her body handled it better. Joran's skin was designed to survive rough climates. But even she flinched when fog rolled in thick. Green and sour, they wrapped cloth around their faces. Breathing became hard, talking even harder. Still, they pushed forward. At midday, they reached an old metal bridge. Half of it had collapsed into a glowing river that hissed with steam. "We cross here," Zella said. Leo looked at the broken path. "Seriously?" she pointed. "Jump 3 times. Stone, beam, stone. You can do it." Zella jumped first light and fast. She landed safe. Leo followed. First jump good. Second close. Third, his foot slipped. He yelled as he dropped, barely catching the edge of the beam. Zella rushed back and grabbed his arm. He dangled above the steaming water, the acid mist rising below. "Hold!" she shouted. "I'm trying," he grunted. With one strong pull, she helped him up. They collapsed together on the far side. Leo coughed. "I hate your shortcuts." She laughed, really laughed for the first time. "You humans fall a lot." "We bounce back," he said, smiling. By nightfall, the fog thinned and the wind calmed. They made camp beneath a large overhanging rock. Zella built a small heat fire with crystal sticks that didn't give off smoke. Leo examined a broken beacon they had carried from the tower. He twisted the wiring and recharged it using his wrist battery. A small light blinked. The signal activated. "Short range," Leo said. "But if anyone's nearby, they'll hear it." "Let's hope they're friends," Zella replied. They ate more fruit and dried meat. Zella watched him chew with curiosity. "You eat so much? How?" Leo wiped his mouth. "Our bodies burn a lot of energy, especially when injured." She leaned forward, fascinated. "You digest poison fruit, acid meat, and protein bricks. Your stomach, miracle machine." Leo chuckled. "Maybe that's why humans survived our own planet. We ate our way through everything." Zella's expression turned thoughtful. "Joran admire beauty, wisdom. But you humans, you admire strength in strange ways." Leo nodded. "We survive first, then we ask questions." Suddenly a soft beep. The signal unit lit up. Someone had pinged back. Leo and Zella exchanged a look. "Could be help," he whispered. "Could be trap," she replied. "The coordinates. We're close, just 2 kilometers northeast." In slaver territory, Leo tightened the strap on his pistol. Zella sharpened her blade silently. They packed quickly. Whatever waited at the other end of that signal, friend or foe, they would find out. Asterisk, the signal flashed again, steady, pulsing every 10 seconds. It was real. Someone was out there. Leo stared at the blinking light, still responding. It's not automated. Zella looked into the stormy sky. Whoever they are, they know someone is alive. She paused, eyes narrowing. But they also know we're desperate. Could be friendly, Leo offered. Could be a trap, she replied, but they had no choice. The path to Blackridge Base still stretched days away, and they needed help gear, transport, or even just a map. So they moved, fast and silent, through the soaking jungle. The storm had calmed for now, but the fog remained thick and low, swirling around their legs. After an hour of careful hiking, they reached the source of the signal. An old escape pod half buried in mud, with a broken antenna and flickering lights. Leo moved closer. This is human tech. Zella stayed back, scanning the surroundings. No signs of a camp. No movement. He knocked on the pod's hatch. Hello? Anyone inside? Silence. Then a beep. The door opened with a hiss. Inside was dark. A foul smell drifted out. Leo covered his nose. That's not good. He stepped in, pistol ready. Inside, he found two things. A dead body human. Long dead. Dried blood on the console. And a small cube with a blinking red light. Zella's voice came from behind. Leo, get out, now. He turned. Too late. Click. The cube exploded in a flash of blue light. It wasn't fire, but an energy burst. A trap. Leo was thrown backward, crashing into the mud. His suit sparked. Zella dove forward, pulling him behind a tree. Leo, she shouted, shaking him. His eyes fluttered open. He was conscious, but dizzy. I'm fine, he groaned. More or less. She looked down. His arm was burned, skin red and swollen. Then they heard metal footsteps. The slavers had been watching. Move, she shouted. They ran again, deeper into the jungle. But this time, the slavers were smarter. They didn't chase directly. They circled, herded. Leo and Zella found themselves pushed into a rocky canyon, narrow and steep. Were boxed in. Leo panted. Zella looked around. No time to climb. They want us to panic. Leo checked his gear. One flare gun. No ammo in his pistol. And one emergency ration bar. He pulled it out and took a bite. Zella gave him a look of disbelief. You eat now? He chewed. If we're going to die, I'm not doing it hungry. She shook her head. You humans are impossible. He grinned through the pain. Thanks. Then he looked up. A thin crack in the rock above. Help me up, he said. She followed. His eyes. It's narrow. You fit? I don't have to. They moved quickly. Leo braced himself against the wall and boosted her up. She climbed, hands scraping the rock. Halfway through, she looked down. You follow after. He nodded. Go. She slipped through the crack just as the first slaver entered the canyon. Leo turned. The slaver was massive, twice his height, with armor like living metal. Its face was a mask of spikes and glowing red eyes. Leo fired the flare gun. The light burst in the creature's face, buying him a few seconds. He jumped, grabbed the edge of the rock, and pulled. His burned arm screamed with pain. The slaver reached for him, metal claws slicing the air. Leo kicked out, boots striking the beast's face. It reeled back. He scrambled higher. Then a hand grabbed him from above. Xela pulled him up with all her strength. They tumbled onto a narrow ledge. Safe barely. They lay still, breathing hard. Below them, the slaver howled with rage but couldn't follow through. The tight cracked out after a long silence. Zela turned to Leo. Why risk your life for me? He looked at her. You saved me first, she frowned. Many humans wouldn't help a Joran. Leo sat up. Then those humans are wrong. She stared at him, eyes unreadable. You confuse me. You eat poison. You fight when you should. Run. You joke when you bleed. He smiled weakly. I'm just being human. She shook her head, but this time. She smiled too. That night they camped in a hollow above the canyon. Zela wrapped his arm in herbal leaves. The pain eased. They shared the last fruit she had. Leo sat, watching the jungle lights. So what now? Zela pointed. One path left. Through the caves. Shortcut to Blackridge. Dangerous. Few use it. He nodded. Let's be the few. They rested beside the soft glow of moss and stone. Together, human and alien. No longer strangers. Not quite friends. But something new. Something real. And they still had a long road ahead. The entrance to the cave stood like a mouth dark, wide and breathing cool air. Leo stared at it, wiping rain from his face. It looks like it wants to eat us. Zela nodded. It might. She stepped inside first, ducking under the stone arch. The air inside was thick, damp, and cold. Her boots echoed on the wet stone. Leo followed, limping slightly. His arm was still wrapped in Juren leaves, and the pain was now a dull throb. This place used to be sacred, Zela whispered. To your people? She nodded. Pilgrims came here long ago, to listen. To hear the echoes. Leo raised an eyebrow. Echoes? She smiled faintly. Voices of the past. Inside, the cave glowed with soft blue light. Crystals along the walls pulsed gently, lighting the path like stars. Dripping water echoed far away, and every step sounded louder than normal. Then they heard something strange. A sound like whispering. Not loud, not dangerous. Just whispers. Leo stopped. Do you hear that? Yes, she said calmly. The cave remembers, but only repeats. He looked uneasy. What does it repeat? Everything. They walked deeper. In a larger chamber. Leo paused again. He heard something else, his own voice. We survive first. Then we ask questions. His eyes widened. That was me. I said that 2 days ago. Zela pointed to the wall. Sound bounces, catches on crystal, then returns. That's why we call it the Cave of Echoes. He looked amazed. It's like the cave listens, she nodded. Yes, but not all echoes are safe. As they moved, the path split into 3. Zela closed her eyes, placing her hand on the stone. Leo watched, confused. What are you doing? Feeling the breath. The middle path leads forward. They followed the center tunnel. The air grew colder. The lights dimmed out suddenly. Leo froze. A new voice echoed. Not his, not hers. It said, human. Does not belong here. He turned fast. Did you hear that? Zela nodded slowly. That is not an echo. Leo looked around. Then what is it? She whispered. The cave spirit. A guardian. Sometimes. It tests the ones who walk here. They kept walking, but the tension grew. Shadows moved that didn't match their steps. Crystals flickered like warning lights. Then the floor shook. A small landslide blocked the tunnel behind them. Leo spun around. That wasn't natural. No, Zela said. We are not welcome. Ahead, the path opened into a round room. In the center stood a large stone platform with glowing runes. What is this? Leo asked. Zela stepped forward. The heart of the cave. A test must happen. Here, one of us must face it. Leo frowned. What kind of test? She looked at him. A test of trust. Without warning, the stone under Leo's feet glowed. A trapdoor opened and he dropped into darkness. "Leo!" Zella screamed. He hit the ground hard, groaned. A soft blue light lit the new chamber. Suddenly, a voice spoke deep, old, not male. Or female. Human. Weak, soft, alone. "Why do you protect the alien?" Leo stood, blinking. "Who are you?" "I am the Watcher." "I guard the old ways." Leo frowned. "Zella saved me. She fought beside me. We're on the same side." "Species are not the same. You eat death. You carry fire. She is pure. You are not." Leo stepped forward. "Maybe, but I don't leave people behind. Not her. Not anyone who still fights for good." The voice paused. Then, "Prove it." The wall in front of Leo shifted. A second version of Zella walked out, cold eyes, holding a weapon. "Defend yourself," the Watcher said. Leo shook his head. "No, I won't attack her." The copy lunged. Leo dodged, fell hard, and shouted, "She's not my enemy." The copy paused, blinking, then disappeared into smoke. Back above, Zella pressed her ear to the floor. Then the platform lit up again and Leo appeared, alive. She ran to him. "You made it." He gave a shaky smile. "Yeah, barely." The cave rumbled, then went still. A new echo rose. "Two hearts walk as one. They may pass." The wall ahead opened slowly. They stepped into fresh air. The cave exit opened onto a tall cliff, overlooking the wild lands near Blackridge Base. They had made it through the cave. But now, far in the distance, they saw black smoke rising from the direction of the base. Zella squinted. "That's not a signal." Leo's jaw tightened. "That's an attack." They started moving again, faster now, side by side. No longer two strangers. One was human, one was alien. But both had earned the right to walk the same path, and together they were unstoppable. Asterisk smoke rose like a signal of death. Thick, black, angry. Leo narrowed his eyes. "We're too late." Zella said nothing. Her face was tight, jaw locked. From the cliffside, they could see the remains of Blackridge Base, a mix of old human bunkers and Joran stone towers. Now, most of it was burning. "What happened?" Leo asked. "Slavers," Zella replied. "Or worse." Leo looked at her. "There's worse?" She nodded. "Raiders from the deep belt. Not part of any system. Not part of any rules." They started their descent. The cliff trail was narrow and slippery. Zella moved fast, helping Leo down when his burned arm slowed him. "We need to check for survivors," she said. Leo agreed. "And if the comms tower is still working, we can call for help." It took them 2 hours to reach the base. It was quiet, too quiet. Broken machines, shattered walls, and burnt-out vehicles lay everywhere. Bodies, too. Mostly Joran, but some human as well. Leo clenched his fists. This was a peaceful base, a medical post. We weren't even armed properly. Zella touched one of the fallen. "My people trusted this place. It was neutral. Safe." But safe was over now. Suddenly movement. Leo raised his pistol. Zella gripped her blade. From behind a wall, a figure stumbled forward, small, limping. A child, Joran, young, weak, alone. Zella rushed over. "Are you hurt?" The child nodded. "They came from the sky?" "They burned everything. I hid under a desk." Leo looked around. "Any others?" The child shook her head. "I don't know. Maybe in the tower." Zella stood. "We go there." The main tower was cracked but still standing. Inside, broken stairs led up to the old comms room. Leo checked the panels. Burned, melted. "No signal from here," he muttered. Then he looked through the window and froze. Outside the base, 5 armored figures approached. Not scouts. Not normal slavers. Heavily armed, tall, quiet. They're coming, Leo said. Zella turned. We make our stand here. They moved quickly. Leo grabbed a heavy piece of piping. This will have to do. Zella handed him a pack. Eat this. He looked inside another glowing fruit and dried meat. He frowned. We're about to fight, and you're giving me snacks? She raised a brow. Human body needs strength. Especially yours. He laughed and bit into the fruit. It was sour, sharp, but his body welcomed it. The enemy reached the base gates. They didn't knock. They walked through the fire like machines. No fear, no sound. Leo and Zella stood at the top of the tower ready. He looked at her. We may not win. She replied, then we make it cost them. The first enemy entered. Leo threw a metal rod, hit the creature's helmet, knocking it sideways. Zella leaped down the stairs, blade slashing. Fast, sharp, precise. Two attackers fell, but the rest climbed. Leo fought hard. He used broken panels, heavy stones, anything he could grab. He was slower than them, but tougher. One grabbed him. He headbutted it, then slammed its face into the wall. It dropped, but another slaver struck him from behind. He fell dizzy. Zella screamed. She spun, throwing her last blade direct hit to the slaver's neck. It fell with a hiss. Silence. Only 4 bodies moved. 2 alive, 2 breathing. Leo sat up, blood on his face. I'm still here. Zella dropped beside him, panting. Me too? They looked around. The child was still hiding, unharmed. Then a light blinked. The emergency beacon in the room's corner. Somehow still working. Leo dragged himself to it. He hit the button. A long beep, then a voice crackling but real. This is Dropship Echo 12, responding to distress. Ada, 45 minutes. Hold position. Leo exhaled. They heard us. They sealed the tower doors, reinforced the walls, and waited. Leo sat beside Zella, bleeding and bruised. You know, he said, this whole thing started with me eating a protein bar. She laughed softly. Yes, and you almost killed yourself with Juren fruit, he smirked. Totally worth it. She looked at him, serious now. I didn't trust you at first. I thought humans were monsters. He nodded. We can be, but you're not. She sighed. Not you. They sat in silence. Not as soldier and alien, but as survivors. As something more. The child curled up beside them, safe at last. Outside smoke rose, but so did hope. Help was coming. They just had to live long enough to see it. Asterisk smoke still drifted across the broken base. The sky was turning gold as the twin suns began to rise. Leo sat against the cracked wall of the comms tower, holding pressure against his side. Blood soaked through the cloth. He didn't feel the pain anymore, just cold. Zella sat beside him, quiet, watching. Her blade lay across her lap. The Juren child Nyla rested nearby, wrapped in a heat blanket. She had cried herself to sleep. Far above, the low rumble of engines grew louder. Leo opened his eyes. Is that? Zella stood and looked up. Yes, the dropship broke through the cloud cover like a silver bird. It was marked with human rescue colors, blue and white. It circled once, scanned the area, then slowly lowered into the middle of the ruined base. The hatch opened. Soldiers stepped out, humans, armed, alert. A tall woman in medical gear ran toward them. Corporal Leo Brandt? He raised a weak hand. Present. They quickly moved him onto a stretcher. Another team checked Zella and the child. She's with me, Leo said, pointing to Zella. And the girl. The commander nodded. They're safe. You're all safe now. Inside the dropship, Leo lay on a medical bed. Machines beeped softly beside him. A nurse checked his pulse and cleaned the wound. Zella sat across from him, her expression calm but unreadable. Nayla curled up beside her, finally smiling. Leo looked at Zella. "You okay?" She nodded. "They gave me water. Tastes strange," he smiled. "It's filtered human style. Probably tastes like plastic." She stared at him for a moment. "You really can eat anything." He laughed, then winced from the pain. "That's our reputation, yeah." Hours passed. The dropship reached a nearby fleet station orbiting above the planet. Medical teams waited. Rooms were ready, but Leo refused to be separated from Zella and Nyla. "She saved me more than once," he told the officers, "and the girl too. She stays with us." They agreed. In the next few days, Leo healed. Slowly, Zella stayed nearby, watching human machines and strange foods. Sometimes she laughed when she saw what humans ate. "You roast dried worms and call it protein chips?" she asked one morning. Leo grinned. "Tastes better with hot sauce." She shook her head. "Monsters." But her smile said something else. One evening, as Leo walked through the recovery wing, a human general approached. "Corporal Brandt," the general said, "I heard you refused extraction and stayed behind to protect 2 aliens." "Yes, sir," Leo answered. "They protected me too." The general nodded. "There's been talk at the council. Someone to punish you for breaking protocol." Leo stood straight. "I understand, sir. But others," the general continued, "believe you built something rare, real trust. A human and a Juran. Surviving together, fighting together." The general looked toward Zella and Nila in the waiting room. "The girl you saved? She's the last heir of a noble Juran line. That means this act of rescue might start peace talks again." Leo's eyes widened. "I didn't know." The general smiled. "You do now." Later that night, Leo sat with Zella on the observation deck, looking down at the blue-green planet below. She broke the silence. "I asked to stay with the humans." Leo turned to her. "Why?" "I want to learn more," she said. "Not just about food, about your people, your ways." He raised an eyebrow. "You sure? We're not easy to understand." She smirked. "I've seen how you eat. Nothing surprises me anymore." They sat in silence for a moment. Then she added, "Besides, I trust you." Leo nodded. "I trust you too." In the weeks that followed, news spread. A human and an alien fought side by side, saved a royal child, and stood against a deadly force. Many called them heroes, but Leo didn't care about the medals. And Zella didn't care about the titles. They cared about one thing: what they had built. Not just survival. Not just peace. Understanding. One morning, in the mess hall, Zella held up a strange-looking food cube. "What is this?" she asked. Leo grinned. "That's meatloaf." She sniffed it. "It smells like something died, came back and died again." He bit into it. "Still better than that rain beast jerky." She made a face, then bit the cube slowly. Chewed, paused, then looked shocked. "This isn't bad." Leo laughed. Out loud. "Told you, human food wins again." And somewhere far above that little station, above the stars, the universe quietly changed, not through war, not through treaties, but through one alien girl, one stubborn human, and the truth that sometimes sharing food is the beginning of everything. Asterisk.